Maybe you can rap a little bit. Maybe you can rap a little bit. You know what I mean? Maybe you can rap a little bit. I'm gonna start rapping, man. And everybody gonna be saying, man,
Canelo Alvarez has continued his back and forth with Terence Crawford after Crawford promised him a serious beating when they clash in the ring. This may be usual fight talk to everyone, but Canelo Alvarez found Crawford's statement very insulting and disrespectful.
Guys like Crawford, because he move a lot and the fight is not that great. I think Crawford don't get me wrong. He's a great fighter. But for me, in my weight class, it's an easy fight. For me, easy money.
Perhaps what makes it more disrespectful to Canelo Alvarez is seeing the weight difference between him and Terence Crawford. But we all know weight isn't all that matters. If it was, then the heavyweight division shouldn't be dominated by the man currently dominating the division. In response to Terence Crawford's insult, Canelo claimed he would finish Crawford even before they got into the ring and promised to do what he hasn't done to his past 5 opponents to Crawford. He said he'll knock him out.
For Crawford to call you out at 68, say that he can beat you at this weight?
No, you know, everybody wants to fight with me, so it's fine.
That
being Alvarez means a constant stream of challengers, including Crawford, clamoring to fight him. It's an honor that everyone wants to fight me, dreaming of having a fight against Canelo, he said. He chose Berlanga because the unbeaten Brooklyn fighter who opened his career with 16 consecutive first-round knockouts is an entertaining, active, younger challenger who will bring a great fight.
I'm focused 100% on this fight. Look, I don't like the way he talk, and I'm not in this position because of any. I'm in this position.
Alvarez has never been sold on the idea that Crawford will do that, since he is so undersized that he would have every reason to follow an elusive fight plan. He's a good fighter, I know that, Alvarez said of Crawford. He thinks he can do everything. But I think he knows it's a little bit different at 154. Good fighter, but that's why there are weight classes. I like Terence Crawford and his style. It's just different. You can see that in that fight against Madrimov. It's just different.
Position, if he wants to work with me, is in my way, not in their way.
What was
I don't need it.
What didn't you like about how he approached? Like, what
it's not a...
As for the others, Alvarez floated the suggestion that it might be best to wait just a little longer to meet unbeaten former 168-pound title holder David Benavidez, as Benavidez pursues a date with whoever will be crowned the undisputed light heavyweight champion when unbeaten Russians Dmitry Bivol and Artur Beterbiev fight in Saudi Arabia on Oct 12. People want to see that fight, they'll have to pay, Alvarez said. He's also interested in taking a fight in Japan, where one of the fighters he most admires, former featherweight champion Oscar Larios of Mexico, fought many times.
It's not the way to approach. It's not the way to approach to me. Look, I respect everybody, and I respect Turkey, but look, if he wants...
I like to go fight by fight, but I definitely would like to have the experience to go fight in Japan, Alvarez said. I grew up watching Jorge Linares. He went to Japan a lot of times. I really want to go there and have that experience. As for Saudi Arabia, it remains to be seen if he'll ever go there. Canelo is highly dissatisfied with the Boxing Federation, including Alalshikh, for his approach towards him.
Yo no estoy pidiendo esa pelea, al final
claro que no. La quiero para mi hijo, por favor.
Sí, no, aquí yo creo que Crawford needs to fight Teofimo first.
According to reports, Alvarez might be looking to finally face David Benavidez in the near future, but the boxing star has asked a massive $200 million for his fight, and Alalshikh appears to be not in the mood to do it Alvarez's way. Turki Alalshikh has changed the dynamics of boxing in recent years and is the main reason why the sweet science is making strides in combat sports again. However, despite this, Canelo Alvarez is not inclined to follow his path, and Alalshikh feels the same way. In his latest move, Alalshikh has stepped forward to issue a shutdown to Alvarez.
Biggest fight possible in boxing, is that something you'd actually be interested in?
You know, it's crazy when you asking about that, because you say, your matchup is coming.
While having a conversation with the media, Canelo Alvarez stated the reasoning behind asking $200 million for his fight against Benavidez. Obviously, he's a risk. He's a great fighter. Plus, he brings to the ring on fight night 25 pounds more than me. It's a risk, but I don't care. If the money's right, it can be tomorrow. Well, a $200 million fee would require a massive gate for the promoters to generate any revenue, and Turki Alalshikh knows it very well.
Payday, obviously, but I don't want that fight. I think Teofimo deserves more than me.
Taking to his X handle to disregard Canelo Alvarez's demand, I heard Canelo said that he respects me but doesn't like the way we do business. As for him respecting me, it doesn't matter to me if he does or not. As for the way I do business, I know why he doesn't like it, because I only target big fights at fair prices, so of course anyone who likes easy fights won't like that. That's not all. Alalshikh even questioned Alvarez's capability as a fighter, as he stated that Canelo is looking for easy fights. And I know how he feels after losing to Bivol, so he's been looking for easier fights ever since. Also, I'm not the one who's afraid of fighting Benavidez or Crawford. Therefore, I knew he was wasting our time and making excuses with big amounts of money that can't be paid. So I'm continuing my way to make big fights that serve the boxing world, and he's on his way to making easy show-only fights.
Right now.
Yeah.
Turki has said that he's not interested in the fight anymore. What's your reaction or your response to that?
The situation of things must be disheartening to Terence Crawford, who had seen a fight against Canelo Alvarez as the biggest fight of his career, a fight that'll guarantee him his highest payday. Crawford was open to the prospect of a tantalizing showdown with the Mexican star, assuming a lucrative offer is put on the table. You know what they say, if the money's right, we've got to fight, he said ringside.
It was no different from 147, to be honest. Israel just was a strong opponent. You know, we knew that coming in the game.
Crawford continued, but at the same time, he's got a fight that he's focused on Edgar Berlanga on September 14th. I'm going to go back to my family, relax, enjoy this win and the accomplishments I've made in boxing. When pressed again about a fight with Canelo, Crawford added,
the right hand wasn't bothering me. You know, I wasn't really too much worried about the right hand. You know, he landed a couple of times at the end of the round where he was trying to steal it around.
It's not so important to me. It's just another milestone towards greatness and financially wise. But before Alvarez started with Crawford, he and Turki Alalshikh had gone at it, and their feud began in the early days of some months back after Turki Alalshikh, the man who has served as the figurehead for the Riyadh season movement and is primarily responsible for injecting life into the boxing world, posted an informative update on social media.
Like Alalshikh say that he sent you an offer, possibly to face Crawford for coming up here. Is that true, or what happened with that?
No, I don't have any offer. And look, I'm 100% focused on this fight, and then we'll see.
He discussed his plans to continue producing boxing events in the United States and provided information on potential next steps for some of the top names he's already worked with over the past few years. Most notably, he called out Canelo regarding a fight with Crawford. It's not something he wants anymore. Crawford has shared his desire to fight Canelo, calling it a legacy fight that could provide generational wealth. Alalshikh had publicly stated his intentions to make the fight happen.
I said to him, we will send you 2 gloves if you want to play in Saudi Arabia. That's it. But he said to me, send to me 2 Ferrari.
Also, Canelo was asked to give the payout amount he'd want to fight Crawford, and he told one reporter $150 million. It's unclear if that was a serious demand or posturing. It's also unclear if that response pushed Alalshikh to abandon making a Canelo-Crawford superhighway. In any case, the fight appeared dead back then. Those of us who have been around the boxing world for a while know that death is a day-to-day concept, especially in fight negotiations. If both sides legitimately desire to fight, it can and will happen eventually. That said, Crawford and Canelo are still looking for options. Canelo will face Edgar Berlanga Jr. on Sept 14 in Las Vegas. The Mexican legend will face the UFC on that date, as the mixed martial arts promotion will deliver one of its biggest shows ever. Despite promoter interest, Canelo Alvarez has seemingly thrown cold water on the prospect of a mega fight with Terence Crawford. The Mexican boxing superstar emphasized his focus on his upcoming bout against Edgar Berlanga and expressed reservations about the Crawford matchup. Alvarez is set to face the young phenom Berlanga on September 14th. However, recent discussions surrounding a potential fight against Crawford, proposed by Turki Alalshikh, have created a media frenzy.
This position because of any. I'm in this position. If he wants to work with me, it's in my way, not in their way. I don't need it.
What didn't you like?
Speaking on the matter, Alvarez said, "I'm not asking for that fight. I think Teofimo Lopez deserves it more than me. My response to Turkey is this. Yesterday, they text me to talk about the Crawford fight in February, and I said, I'm not going to talk about any other fight. I'm focused 100% on this Edgar Berlanga fight. I respect Turkey, but if he wants to work with me, it needs to be my way." Following Canelo Alvarez's comment, Turki Alalshikh has now stated that he is no longer interested in pursuing the fight between Alvarez and Terence Crawford.
At number one pound for pound, you think that's fair to you?
You know, it's a few people there who deserve be the number one pound per pound, and it's fine.
Alalshikh has decided to shift gears, announcing his disinterest in pursuing the bout. Instead, he will focus on building Crawford's profile in the U.S. market and promoting other top fighters like Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, and Gervonta Davis. On the other hand, Saul Canelo Alvarez doesn't like to discuss future plans when he has a fight on his immediate schedule, and he emphasized how that point applies even when pressed by boxing's newest big power broker, Turki Alalshikh.
Turkey, but look, if he wants to work with me, it need to be in my way.
You said you feel Crawford is easy. You felt that Crawford.
Alvarez said he was contacted by Alalshikh on Monday about the possibility of taking a February fight in Saudi Arabia against newly crowned junior middleweight and 4-division champion Terence Crawford. "They called me yesterday," Alvarez told PPV.com in a Tuesday interview before his news conference with SEPTA 14 super middleweight opponent Edgar Berlanga at the Beverly Hills Hotel. "They wanted to meet with me and see about the fight with Crawford in February. I said, look, I'm not interested in talking about another fight. After SEPTA 14 we can talk, but not right now." Alalshikh then announced on X late Monday night that, "Just wrapped up an important meeting now with my team, planning for the upcoming fights that we will make for 2024 to 2025. I decided to disregard the Canelo fight as I don't want it anymore. Instead, I will be focusing on the US market with bigger fights, especially for the legendary Crawford." He added, "I'm focusing on Riyadh season card, Wembley edition 21st of September, Anthony Joshua versus Dubois, and depending on the results and the results of Riyadh season's opening card, Bivol versus Beterbiev, on the 12th of October, I will build the card for the rematch of Fury versus Usyk on the 21st of December, and another big card on the first quarter of 2025. Stay tuned." 4-division and unified super middleweight champion Alvarez said he told his occasional promoter Eddie Hearn the same thing at the first stop of his and Berlanga's press tour in New York.
About it, look, I'm focused 100% on my fight, and I don't really care about it. They called me yesterday. They text me yesterday if it's possible to talk about.
Eddie Hearn asked me, "Hey, we want to talk about the Crawford fight in February. Turki Alalshikh wants to meet you in person in Los Angeles," Alvarez said. I said, "Look, I don't want to talk about the fight." Few people obviously put Alalshikh on pause. His deep investment in boxing has moved many fighters to flock to Saudi Arabia or to accept purses they've never seen before to participate under his Riyadh season banner. The height of the Alalshikh ring kissing came Saturday night at the Los Angeles card, where Crawford edged Israel Madrimov by unanimous decision to capture the World Boxing Association 154-pound belt. Interrupting the card's flow, the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame and promoters Hearn and Oscar De La Hoya attended a ring ceremony, granting Alalshikh a special induction into the hall, despite the fact he has never staged a fight in the state. Meanwhile, Alvarez was bowing to no one.
Percent focus on this fight, and I can talk about other fights. Maybe that's why he talked about that today, because I say I'm not ready to talk about other fights, and I don't really ask him for anything. I'm good. And that's fair.
Maybe that's why they announced this, because I said, "No, I don't want to talk about the fight," Alvarez said. "I'm very focused on this Berlanga fight." Alalshikh previously sought to poke at Alvarez by saying he was investing in the production of the anticipated UFC card at the Las Vegas Sphere, also on SEPTA 14. Alalshikh said the UFC card would eat Alvarez's show. "I'm not here to disrespect anyone. I always fight on Mexican Independence Weekend, and I have my fans and my people, and they've never let me down," said Alvarez, who's coming off a unanimous decision victory over another young contender, Jaime Munguia, on Cinco de Mayo weekend in May.
Turkey is this. Yesterday they text me.
They text me and say, we can talk about the fight in February.
I just do my thing, Alvarez said. I just want to fight on those days. Saying he still feels he's the world's #1 fighter over Crawford, undisputed heavyweight champion Alexander Usyk, undisputed junior featherweight champion Naoya Inoue, and others, Alvarez expressed confidence that the Mexico versus Puerto Rico angle of his bout with Berlanga stirs his countrymen to strongly support his card. I'm going to bring my best like I always do, and Mexico versus Puerto Rico motivates me even more, he said.
With Crawford? Yeah. They text me yesterday, and I say, look, I'm not gonna talk about any other fight.
It's amazing to represent my country against a territory that has so many amazing fighters too. Well, this time we hope to see a fierce competition between Canelo Alvarez's trainer, Eddie Reynoso, and Terence Crawford's Brian McIntyre. Brian McIntyre has never led Crawford into anything other than a win, while Eddie Reynoso has only led Canelo Alvarez to 2 losses and 2 draws in 66 outings.
Güey, eres más joven que él, Saúl, Eres más joven que él, hay que aprovechar eso, hijo,
Canelo comes over the top with an overhand right, lands right to the left.
The relationship between Canelo Alvarez and Eddie Reynoso is one of the most successful and enduring partnerships in boxing. It began in 2003 when a 14-year-old Canelo walked into Don Chepo Reynoso's gym in Guadalajara, Mexico. At the time, Eddie Reynoso was just 27. His father, Don Chepo, immediately recognized Canelo's potential due to his power and skill even at such a young age.
Simple, of Triple G.
Así, güey. Póngase bien. Listo, cabrón. Chile huevos, cabrón. Siéntase, mijo. Ya se acabó.
Canelo's bond with the Reynosos, particularly Eddie, grew from a traditional trainer-fighter relationship into something more akin to a father-son dynamic. Eddie Reynoso was instrumental in developing Canelo's boxing skills. He also played a crucial role in shaping the to-be boxing icon's glorious career. Under Reynoso's guidance, Canelo rose to become one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world. He captured multiple world titles across various weight classes.
La goma. Ya está, ya. Mijo, siguen 3 rounds. Hay que hacerlo con velocidad, con inteligencia, güey.
In his last fight, his opponent looked to be as extremely confident as Crawford currently is. He already warned that he will knock out Canelo in just 6 rounds and that he is vastly superior to the Mexican super middleweight champion. Since then, he has escalated his position as he now assured that his goal is to retire Canelo from boxing.
Yeah, I want to definitely retire him, for sure. That's my goal, you know. And I'm not trying to sit here and disrespect him or nothing. Like, he a legend, you know.
I want to retire him for good, no doubt. That's my goal. I'm not trying to sit here and disrespect him or anything like that. He's a legend, but at the end of the day, we have to fight, said Berlanga. But the Puerto Rican went further in an interview with TMZ Sports and said that his opponent is finished and that he has what it takes to strip him of his belts.
But at the end of the day, you know, we got to go in there, we got to fight, and we got to tussle, and we got to do what we got to do, you know what I'm saying? So, like, what he said something, he said, oh, every fighter wants a knockout. Yeah, everybody wants a...
He already did what he had to do in the sport of boxing. I think now it's my time. It's time to come in and take over. A new face is needed at 168 pounds, said Berlanga. Finally, he said he wants to become a legend on September 14th, precisely on the weekend of Mexico's Independence Day celebrations. I am destined to make history on September 14th to become a legend on that day, to take over the sport of boxing and become the face of the sport, he concluded.
Shut the
buddy,
you
that's for you.
Smack. Go and check your beer.
You think he got more IQ than you?
While he has his work cut out for him in his upcoming bout, the North American still has his sights set on other potential fights. One name that continues to call for a shot at Canelo Alvarez is Jake Paul. Jake has made a stamp on the sport of boxing since debuting back in 2020. Saul Canelo Alvarez has been calm, cool, and collected ever since he took his throne as the super middleweight king. Opponents have come and gone, heaping combinations of praise and respect toward him.
It's his weight class. 75 is his weight class, and you know he do nothing in 175. Really.
Even arch-rival Gennady Golovkin kept it kind during their trilogy meeting after years of animosity. The last fighter who provoked Alvarez in the build-up stages of a fight was Caleb Plant, who scuffled with Alvarez during a press conference only to be knocked out in the 11th round when they met. Immediately before Plant was Billy Joe Saunders, who irked Alvarez, especially throughout fight week, and paid for it with a broken eye and then retirement. That was in 2021, when Alvarez was at the peak of his powers.
No, he's not the same, but he's a weight class, the 175, and I don't really want to say what he's need to do.
It's also the last time he knocked out an opponent. A loss to Dimitri Bivol at light heavyweight, and unanimous decision wins against Golovkin, John Ryder, Jamel Charlo, and Jaime Munguia have followed. Alvarez is now promising a turn-back-the-clock-like performance later this year when he takes on pound for pound King Terence Crawford in what remains arguably the biggest fight in boxing. Canelo Alvarez's advantage heading into the fight is his weight and power, which will be very instrumental when they clash. Crawford, however, is faster and more athletic than his Mexican opponent. And that's all for now. For the very best updates on news, moments, events, and actions in the world of boxing, stay connected with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to turn on notifications to get notified when we drop quality contents like this. Until next time, peace out.